birthday to me, going live for my birthday, and for the rest of my videos, I'll be going private until I have the body of an adult. That's my bargain here. I'm not going to do anything different until God gives me the body of an adult. I already had an ordeal with my neighbors outside, making sexual innuendos. The Russian front, I call Yvonne after that guy on Hellboy. His pool people are over there making sexual innuendos. I just went out to hook up some irrigation. And Valerie started in on me already. For some reason, Mancini's were quiet across the street when I woke up this morning, because they say something every morning, and this is the first morning in like, I don't know how many years that they didn't try to psychorazzi me into suicide while I was in bed at first wake. Probably because they knew there were going to be enough people today up my asshole. And I've been screaming at them all weekend because I have no other way of cathartic. Nothing's working. It just keeps getting worse and worse. That's why I'm not gonna publish any of my videos anymore, because it's just gotten too bad, and I'm not going to satisfy anybody's sadistic appetite for my pain. So these will all just be for me, for a record, or for the police, because they're probably going to do something drastic to me. So the police might need it for proof of something, because it just keeps getting worse. Any more videos until I have the body of an adult. Then I'll start making adult videos instead of videos sadists can get off on. I'm not going to satisfy anybody's sadistic fucking men's sadistic fucking penchant to torture women. They're all assholes. This is just for me. I'm going to publish this to anybody. He was the only one who was willing to say that to me. They're all assholes, says. Valerie yesterday. I will never vote for anybody in this state. Again, what I decided. I can't have one birthday. I can't have one day off with psychorazzi. I will never vote for anybody in this state again. Nobody has ever responded to anything that I've written about the fucking virtual death camp that this culture allows to go on. They don't do a thing about it. They don't do a damn thing. Not a thing. Nothing. I never got a smidgen of real help from the police either. Certainly nothing psychological. Where most of the front is. If there were like police, they'd only be protecting the rich people. If there were thought police, they'd only be protecting the rich people. And some assorted poster children. I guess my family sent Valerie in to take she's kind of replacing me in the family. She's blonde, so they're treating it as though she's an Amazonian. Or maybe she's replacing my mother, the apple. My mother thinks like my mother's some kind of apple. And Kathy would be doing that, so it can't be that. She's supposed to be replacing me as an Amazonian. She's nowhere near, she's a psychopathic liar, so she can't be an Amazonian. Most people that work for Amazon aren't Amazonians because they're psychopathic liars. It's because they live in the Philippines. If the Philippines had a number of population size that they could actually feed, they wouldn't be psychopaths. 125 million people on some small islands, that's psychopathic. incestuous, leeching, lynching, greedy, murdering, sexually neurotic, socially psychotic, criminally neurotic, duck-effing, skank-essing, flea-bitten, moth-eating, scum-sucking pigs. Now we're going to go over and deal with the state's abuse. Let's see. You can watch as I call the state. It's good enough for I have to call the state this morning because they didn't get my SNAP application. Maybe I'll just use this one today. I don't think it's going to work from that angle. To hang a piece of paper. Shit, an extra clip. Are you kidding me? They're all too small. Be good enough. I have to call the state this morning. I didn't even get my computer stuff done yet. Let's see. Or maybe I don't want the desktop here. I'm still doing my morning security. Oh my God, look at this. They got Windows. They tried to trick me into downloading and installing Windows 11 is on top now instead of checking for updates. I already tried Windows 11 and it wouldn't work. It was a nightmare getting rid of it. It was a total nightmare. Nothing about the computer is user friendly. What's the actions that need done? I don't want OneDrive. They have set up OneDrive under ransomware protection. They shut off my controlled access folder because I don't have OneDrive set up. Let's see. So I turned it on. It's on right now. I bet they'll turn it off later. Because OneDrive, it just puts all kind of stuff on your desktop that you don't even want. It's ridiculous. I do scans every morning. They're saying they're saying virus and threat protection actions recommended. I don't like OneDrive at all. They put stuff in places. When I got this laptop, all kinds of stuff came onto my laptop that I didn't ask for. I didn't even sync it yet. Just because it might have been synced on this computer wasn't even up and running. I had to do a fresh start. And that's what I've been doing for the past couple weeks, trying to get my computer back up and running. I needed a new keyboard. And then yesterday, surprise, surprise, for my birthday party, I got a letter from the state, my Compass PA, saying they didn't get my SNAP application. Well, here it is right here. Here's a copy of it. I could have never done all this yesterday. It includes, oh my God, I shouldn't have showed you that. It includes, I have to get all of my expenses together. Every last expense I have to add together. I mean, it's all of this. I could have never done that yesterday. I just got this in the mail. So I got to call them. And I'm going to turn the phone turned on because when you plug your phone in, when you plug this phone in and there's a message waiting for you, you can't get the time. And I don't have clocks anywhere in the house. My last kitchen clock lasted a couple years, so I'm not going to buy any more of them. That business went down poop shoot. And phones and watches break on me. They don't last. They might last a year or two. And I'm not willing to spend all that money on watches. So my phone is the only thing I can use, and they won't let you see the time if there's a message waiting in your Verizon voicemail box. So here we go. It's Philadelphia, here we come. Look out, here comes Rocky. Look out, Philadelphia, here comes Rocky. They're all shaking in their boots. I'm a cripple threat. Oh, this is statewide. They have a special number if you're in Philadelphia. So I guess I'm not calling Philadelphia. I don't know what's wrong with this phone. Oh my God. We got to listen to a book first.
If you are still eligible, you can check to see when your annual renewal is due by visiting dhs.pa.gov/compass. That's dhs.pa.gov/COMPASS. Or ask a representative. You can complete your renewal online at Compass or by filling out your renewal packet and turning it into any county assistance office. You can also complete your renewal over the phone with a representative, which takes about 30 to 45 minutes on average. By calling 1-866-550-4355. That's 1-866-550-4355. Did you happen to miss your renewal or recently lose your coverage? It's never too late to be reconsidered or apply for coverage. Your health coverage matters, and DHS is dedicated to connecting you to the coverage that is right for you. Visit dhs.pa.gov/stay covered. 2023 summer PED benefit payments paid automatically from July 31st through May. This benefit is only available for eligible children enrolled in K through 12. Children in child care or daycare are not eligible due to the end of the public health emergency on May 11th. For more information about PED, visit dhs.pa.gov/PED. If you are calling about PED, hang up and visit this information. Visit PED.gov. That's PEDNNED.gov. Call PED hotline at 1-877-343-0179. Have you had step benefits or electronically?
This is a total recording. They won't even help you on this line. I'm trying the Connie number they have here. They give you a phone number that's all recording. There's no link at all.
Thank you for calling the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services. For English, press 1. You have reached the Allegheny Southern District County Assistance Office. Please listen carefully, as some of the menu options may have changed. Office hours for the Allegheny County Assistance Office, Southern District, are Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., excluding holidays. You can now use your cell phone to download the My Compass PA app for fast and easy access to your SNAP and cash benefit information. You can view your payment dates, complete your semi-annual reporting form, send forms to your caseworker, and more. Go to the App Store or Google Play on your mobile device for more.
I shouldn't have to go through the appeal progress when it's a mailing issue.
The Department of Human Services is returning to pre-COVID procedures for medical assistance renewals starting April 1st, 2023.
I pressed 0 and it's ringing. They didn't expect that one. So they're just not picking up. They can't expect you to go through the appeal process when it's a mailing, when it's a post office issue. They won't pick up. I'm going to try the Philadelphia number. They won't even pick up for me. They're doing this on purpose. They had this all planned out because I'm not voting for anybody but myself. Oh, well, now I can't even dial that. Now Verizon's picking up the ball against me. This happens constantly. This isn't an isolated instance. It's the same. It's the same message as the other number. They want me to go to my compass. And anything I do online, I can't even submit a tax form online because they don't accept it. They give me the runaround, the computer gets hung up, and I probably won't even be able to enter my password to my compass. This is a nightmare. This is a total nightmare. I gotta check my irrigation. I can't check the time because I don't have a clock out there against where I started. So I gotta come back in here. I've still got 9 minutes. I need to see page 2. I'm going to try their disability help desk. Enterprise truck rental. Oh, that's nice. We'll try it one more time. Please call our helpline at 1-800-692-7462. Happy birthday to me. Oh, here we go with the book, another pamphlet.
At www.compass.state.pa.us. That's www.compass.state.pa.us. If you would like to apply for medical assistance by phone or receive evidence for medical assistance during your home, then you would like to come
Just 866. They don't let me get anything done online. I think it's discrimination. I think they're letting people of color reverse discriminate on a lot of this stuff. So instead of it's too long. How am I supposed to write that down? They say to call that same number, but enter your zip code. This is all just to get you to use it online, but they don't let white people use it online, to the best of my knowledge. Instead of going after privileged people, they go after the poor people that don't have anything to do with discrimination. I never discriminated against anybody in my life for anything. Now that number doesn't come in. I think they gave me the wrong number. They said 877 instead of 866.
Very excited to tell you about a special promotion for select callers. This will only take moments by answering just 15 questions we will find out.
Oh my God. What was the number from here? It's 877. But they're not letting me connect now.
Thank you for calling the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services.
Now I got to go and change the host. It's the same thing. She said enter the zip code. They're targeting me specifically. I know they are. Because this is just bullshit. I think the male lady might be the culprit because she's always psychorazziing me. They start out nice when they're new, and then they just start following the biggest bullies and psychorazziing you to death to murder by suicide, just like everybody else. I'm not going to kill myself until I'm ready to destroy this house. Then I'm going to burn the fucking house down with me in it while I shoot myself in the head. I'm not going to go off on a murder spree and get rid of any jagoffs for them, but get rid of some people in my family so another jagoff can step into his shoes. Wouldn't that be nice for one of them assholes, huh? Wouldn't that be wonderful for one of these assholes ready to step into one of my brother's shoes? Why should I kill them? It'll just be another asshole replacing the last asshole. I'm not going to do that for anybody. Now I got to go change my water, and I don't have any more time left. keep my watering written down so I don't go over as little as possible. Let's see, we got 12:33 here. Privates South. So isn't the state wonderful? The bully's wish is their command. They go along with whatever the bullies want to do. You know, just because I didn't vote, I'm not voting for other people. I vote for myself. They're going to harass me just like my neighbors do. Instead of working to gain my vote, like they did for the blacks over the last 100 years, they're gonna F me up the patoot until I come back to voting for them. And that's never going to happen. I'd rather be dead than vote for another fascist pig. They're all fascist pigs. The Democrats all go back to letting food stamps and everything slip. And they're just letting me, now they're denying my application. They're outright denying my application. Some colored person is probably they think they're committing reverse discrimination at the DHS. So lucky effing me. They kill the people that never committed a discriminating act against them. This is what colored people do. They're just as bad as the whites. So I will never put my foot forward for anybody for any reason again. If you're not on board with saving the world, you're not going to get my vote. For anything. You're not going to get my vote for anything ever again. Nobody. All the colored people treat me just as bad as my family, and I fought for them my entire existence. I'm still fighting for them by fighting for the way I'm fighting, the way I've trying to take affirmative action to a new level will still be for anybody that's unprivileged. But the privileged coloreds, I'm sure, like it as much as the white privileged. So they're going to F me up the patoot as much as they can. I'm going to have to sign in somehow. This is a nice way to spend your birthday, isn't it? Isn't this wonderful? I want to contact you. But they have another number. Maybe this number works if I already tried it. 692 7462. No, I already tried this number. That's so mean. That is so mean. That is so freaking mean. Now the login disappeared. Oh, here it is. Punching on login doesn't do anything. Probably won't even take my password. I'm surprised if this works. What a lovely birthday. Thank you. Thank you, booger triggers at the state. Thank you so much. Ah, your attempt to log in has failed. Why am I not surprised? They don't let you see what your password is, so you can't check it to see if you're typing it in right. See, they want you to, so they forgot my username, forgot my password. This happened the last time I tried to log in. So they won't let me log in. They will not let me log in. So I have to go through the trouble of making a new password, and I bet that won't even work because that's what happened the last time with this. I created a new password, and they said password not accepted right after I created a new password. Or something like that. It might have, I think that's what happened with this one. They won't let me reroute to the new password. It's just spinning. So they're not going to let me in at all. Watch. Username not accepted. I got it. You need to see this. The password's over here, I guess. Watch. We don't recognize this username. Username must be between 6 and 64 characters. Yeah, it is. The user entered was not found. Please re-enter your user ID. So they won't take my user ID. And that's the only one I have. This is what happened the last time, too. I guess I got to call Neighborhood Legal Services. I have another number on here. Maybe this will work. I don't know if I tried this one yet. They want my card number. Oh my God.
If you're calling for a PEBT card replacement, you will contact 484-363-2137. To re-enter your card number, press 1. To access your account using your personal information, press 2. To find out the status of your previously ordered replacement card, press 3. To report your card lost, stolen, or damaged, press 4.
This is. They won't take my username. What else can I do? There's no other way of contacting anybody. I have to call Neighborhood Legal Services. They'll just give me a runaround. They're just going to fuck me up the ass, too. They're going to take me through this big, long loop just to get my fucking accent, my snapback. I'm going to have to call my mother. If this doesn't work, and ask her to contact them. Because maybe she can get through. Because they love her. I must contact. They won't. There's no way you can contact them using this. All I have left now is an email on here somewhere. I saw an email number. No, I probably won't be able to find that. There was an email on here somewhere. Now that's going to be gone. Oh my God, it is. It's gone. It was at the top. Here. This is discrimination. I think it's discrimination. Black and yellows versus white, poor, white, disabled, crippled old ladies. Isn't it wonderful? Oh my God, McCarthy came up and got in the way of connecting with my email, to signing in my email. They totally took over my computer. McAfee won't let me get into my email now. I don't care. This is my normal email and this is what I'm using. No. McAfee won't let me access my email. I don't even have McAfee. I don't have McAfee. Oh my God, I gotta uninstall whatever, however this got installed. I don't even have McAfee. Oh my God. I don't have McAfee. Where are programs at? McAfee isn't even on here. I don't even have McAfee installed as a program, and they're stopping me from getting into my email. I have to uninstall it on this computer. I have to uninstall it on this stupid fucking thing. Oh my God. It's not even showing on here. It's not showing on here. I don't even have them. I do not even have McAfee. Let's see if it's in programs if I could find it in C, program files. They won't let me erase it. They won't let me get rid of McAfee. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Let's see if I can get it under this. Jesus Christ, where'd my mouse go? Jesus goddamn Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. I hate computers. I wish all I ever wanted was a word processor. I absolutely hate computers. I'd rather be dead than use another computer. I would rather be dead. I can't even get to my computer. They won't let me get to my computer. There is no my computer. They take me to system. I can't even get to my computer from File Explorer. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. They won't even let me. There's no. Oh, there it is with this PC. There's no McAfee on my PC, on this PC. So it has to be using the one from the new computer somehow. So I have to turn off sync. Maybe that will work. Now maybe I can get into McAfee. Oh my God, now they won't even let me on the internet. Now watch Google will be done now. When something this bad goes on, usually Google makes me reinstall too. When they're on a roll like this, fucking me up the asshole. And I forget what I wanted to do now. They won't even let me go to email now. Now they're hanging this up. Now Juno's hanging me up. I need to go. I need to get moving here. Juno won't let me get to my email. Now they won't let me compose a message. It's not. I can't even get my Microsoft. I have Microsoft Home and Office 2019, and Microsoft keeps wanting to download their 365 program, and so I can't even get my Word program up and running. They do this to me every time. There's always a hassle about getting my programs when I refresh my computer. I refreshed it because I didn't know that the keyboard was damaged yet. It was working sometimes. So let's see, programs. I need to copy this. Let's say I didn't put something right on here. They want me to take pictures of everything too, so you have to keep getting more and more memory when you don't even really need it. Snap email, okay. So program intake at usda.gov. At least it's going to the United States. That might be better than the state. The subject disappeared. Now it says program in subject. Oh my God, they changed my program. They changed my subject line. I can't spell anything. I have to keep rewriting everything. Confused anyway. Sent snap application on time. Refused anyway. They didn't like what I wrote for my subject. Because I said snap refused me. Snap refused anyway. You're a team, buddy boy. I don't care if it's an individual. You're a team, and you're supposed to know what your team members are doing. You should know what your team members are up to. Forget you. Well, that's all I can do for now. I guess I'll just have to starve now. I just spent like 2 hours. I don't know how long that was. If I could see how much, okay, at least 40 minutes it looks like I spent just trying to contact Snap. 40 minutes just attempting to contact Snap. I will never ever vote again for anybody but myself. I don't think anybody else is capable of, nobody else will ever do anything about what's going on. Nobody else is ever going to do this affirmative action thing. For what? Oh, your ballot is on the way. Oh, wowsy, wowsy, woo, woo. Look, my ballot is on the way, everybody. My ballot is on the way, TV land. Wow, I can't wait. Well, Target knows what they're doing. I didn't pick up an order, what do you call it, a walk-in order? I forget what they call that. Ordered by email, but go in and pick up. And they're putting on the shelf and giving me my. No, this is junk. Anything that comes from the state is garbage as far as I'm concerned. Because it's being sent by reverse discriminators. And that's impossible to do against me because I never discriminated. Not one freaking time. I'm sorry. I started fighting for civil rights before I even got into first grade. I had to battle my brothers on the issue all the time. They still hate me because of it. And they made their millions. They're making their millions on cheap housing, on the management of Section 8 housing, and as slumlords. And they still hate me for how I helped them with their careers. Because they can't stand anybody. They can't stand anybody, which is why they made it so hard on me. Because they can't stand anybody out there. And they're not willing to be the pillars of the community they were, their parents. Set the good example. Well, their parents, they're not willing to be pillars of the community, and that's what their parents were. So they are the pillars of the community, but they're bad pillars of the community. To hate somebody for making you rich. That's a pretty bad pillar of the community. So I'd like to take all that money back now. All I can do now is pray for them all to crash completely. For them to lose their butts financially and be as poor as I am. Or poorer, actually. They have to be. They have to be a lot poorer than I am. So I turned off sync. Okay, so I did my email too. I cleaned up my email. Hollywood says goodbye to John Travolta. That's so sad. Oh, I'm so sad for you, John. Judge imposes narrow gag order on Trump. Judge laughs out loud amid Trump gag order hearing. U.S. tests unique strategy on homes near the ocean. Sometimes Juno has some really good headlines. This drug is like a medical gastric bypass for weight loss. Renowned Iranian filmmaker is stabbed to death. Let's just catch a little bit on Wall Street Journal. Oh, wait. Unique tests unique strategy on homes near the ocean. U.S. tests unique strategy on homes near the ocean. I already signed out, right? I could have sworn I was signed out. Wall Street Journal looks up today. U.S. picks troops to prepare for potential deployment. This is for the Gaza need to airlift humanitarian enemies down in there. Netanyahu wants Iran to stay out of conflict. Dozens of countries scramble to identify citizens held hostage in Gaza by Hamas. Orders kill as many people as possible because the population's too big. Why don't you stop having children? Why don't you stop having children? Why would you think God would expect you to keep having children if you can't feed people? That's just total greed. God, why would anybody think God would expect you to keep having children? This goes for the Catholic Church too. The Catholic Church has 2 billion people worldwide, and they can't use birth control. They can't start bargaining with other countries and religions for birth control. It's absolutely absurd. 8 billion people when we should only have 5 million at the level of things that people want. You know, everybody wants to be king of Sheba, and they all want like palaces to live in. And the only palace I want is a forest. It's a nice, clean forest. I don't want anything over 3,500 square feet. My house is about 2,200. I think I need more space. But I'd like to be able to use the geothermal heating, get it from underground and do that whole thing that way if that's feasible. Or whatever it takes, they call them, my brother has I think they call it a passive solar home. So he used 6-inch, instead of 2x4s, he used 2x6s. So he has extra 2 inches of insulation all around his house, and the kind of windows that are facing south. So a lot of his heat comes from. Back in the 90s, he was only spending $50 a month on oil, because he was using oil. He has an oil burning unit for his heating system. And this is outside. It's colder. It's probably colder winters where he is, slightly colder than it is. I'm a little bit closer to Pittsburgh than he is. He's right next to Raccoon State Park. And he was only back in the 90s, so he was only spending $50 a month on oil for a passive solar home. I don't think it's 3,500 square feet, but still, that was pretty good. I got my bills way down by just throwing so much stuff in my attic that I possibly can. I started stuffing boxes. So I've got insulation, like this much insulation in some parts of my attic. I mean, I've probably got way more than he does, but I have 2x4s. I don't have the 6-inch, the 2x6s, but I think I come pretty close, or at least, I have no idea, because I don't burn oil, so I don't know what it would cost, and I'm not going to go over that with them. I've done everything I could. I could probably still throw more boxes up there, but I just, I got it to a point where I had split it. I split my bills by probably 50% or more. I cut my bills since when this house was new, and it was finished in 1989, and we have the Tyvek and everything, the insulation in the attic. And, but I really cut my bills really good. And I put in a duct, my brother George that lives out in Albuquerque. That's one thing I got help with my family over this last 30 years. He cut out holes in my duct in two places, one for the upstairs heating, so I could cut off my bedroom overnight because it's a master bedroom and it's a large bedroom. It comprises the whole house, the old farmhouse that was here, and we built on this 28 by 28 new house next to it. We built a new house right next to it and then tied the two together. So I'm able to cut that room off completely during the day, and that helps save a lot of money too. And when I go to bed at night, I cut off a large part of this part of the house, not all of it got cut off because there's two branches coming into this section. So one big branch gets cut off to this side of the house, and that made a really big difference. In addition to my insulation, and some insulation I got through the weatherization program as well. They put an extra layer. They put an extra blanket up there too. Before I started, I guess it was before I started adding boxes. Actually, that probably was before I started adding any boxes at all. I had that program, so that was good. They didn't have to move boxes around too much, or maybe I hadn't done that much yet. Of course, you use it for storage too, and I save all my boxes for any main appliance. You throw them up in the attic so you can have them when you move. And if you don't, and if the appliance wears out, just leave the box up there. A lot of them have insulation in them. Why would you throw that away? Just leave it up there. Tuck the old ones back in the corners. So anyway, home sales on track for slowest year since housing was. Oh, that's so sad. I think they have a long way to go. I could tell by the people that are trying to gentrify me out of my house. And some of them are family members too. Isn't that nice for me? Direct. It's like gentrification direct. That's why I'm calling this Valerie's death camp, because she joined the pack now. And I think I'm going to get offline now. I think the environment is far more important than anything that's going on, because we're in the middle of Envirogeddon, and they're going to just let these wars continue instead of going in there and finalizing things quickly. They're going to let Envirogeddon proceed no matter what it looks like. The stuff with greenhouse gases is nothing compared to the people that are going to be dying from the cancer of PFOAs and viruses, because people can't acclimate as fast as the viruses can to our antibiotics. So, I mean, they're not really doing anything in my mind. They're not doing anything about pollution, because the greenhouse gases are just the tip of the iceberg. There's so many poisons. I can't breathe enough. There's not enough oxygen in the air, or there's too much poison in the air for me to eat and not go outside without an aspirator and have tons of air cleaners in my house going. And it's a waste of electric. It's just more. Electric is a fossil fuel too. If it's not a fossil fuel, if it's through sun power, it still emits poisons into the air. There were studies that my sister told me about, who lives under a high tower, that people get cancer. People that live under those electrical towers are more prone, have higher rates of cancer. So in the long run, that's going to get us too. So in my mind, we're in the middle of Envirogeddon, and nobody's really doing anywhere near enough about it. And I can't support any any politician in this arena. It's just they're going to let us die, and we're going to die. I'm afraid that I will still be alive when this happens, because I think it's going to be within the next 20 years that people are going to be starving to death in this country, that we're going to have horrible famines, and it's going to start in my lifetime. And I am actually trying to live another at least 50 years, because if I don't, I'll have never had a life at all. And I still don't even have a life to start with yet. So it'll be at least 50 years from the time I get a life. And it should be 80. Because with my self discipline, I would have at least easily had 80 good years. I would have never been forced into a marriage, a shotgun marriage, because I had no other choice but to get married. And I think everybody deserves to have a life. So I want to live 80 years from the time I start having a life. And that's when I start growing muscle. And that's not happening yet. So I think I'm going to get off the computer now. I'm going to do my dishes. I guess I'll bring you with me. We'll keep going. I got my Snap email saved. I have to wait to hear back from them. And turn my music back on. Benedictines of Mary, Queen of the Apostles. for my next video. They're not going to let me grow muscle. I'm not going to show any of more of my videos to all the sadists out there, because that's probably the only people that are looking at any of my stuff. When I write about virtual death camp, when I use that as a hashtag on Twitter, oh boy, does that get a response. I just think it's sadist because nobody's responding to me. There's no, comments or anything like that. So I think it's just sadist. So I have no reason, absolutely no reason to publish any more of my videos until something changes, until something gigantic changes. See, more insulation you can put on your windows. I made these out of foam mular. You're not allowed to bring this stuff inside, but I coated it. I coated it with contact paper, and I got a cardboard over that to protect the outside, because the outside contact paper will wear out faster, and then just cover it with a window treatment. You can put that for more insulation. It's good for summer and winter, for heat and cold, of course, like everything else. And it gives you a nice little window treatment too, a nice easy window treatment. I have those on just about all of my windows. I don't think, is there one I don't? Maybe the garage. I don't have them in the garage. I got boxes in those holes. There's a nice wide hole in the garage. I get, because there was block down there. It's like this big, the window ledge. I guess I'm talking to myself here, because the way things are looking, I don't think anything's going to change in my lifetime. So at least I can talk to myself. I'm the only one that will truly empathize with myself, so I guess I can't share. Nobody has even tried to empathize with me on Twitter. Never, ever. And it's like, do they think you're kidding? Do they think it's a joke? Because I don't lie. I don't play. I'm sorry, but I don't play. I can't keep all that shit straight in my head. It's impossible. To keep track of the world's lies and your own, I ain't going to do it. I have AD, attention deficit syndrome. And even if I didn't, I doubt if I ever would have done that. It's just not who I am. I don't want to be around criminals. So I don't want to act like a criminal. I don't want to be a pedophile. So I'm not going to act like a pedophile. I'm sorry. It's pedophilia. There's no doubt about it. It's pedophilia. Happy birthday to me. There's my birthday dish. My birthday cake dish from last night. Heat some water up. Oh, I bet everybody can't wait to see what I heated up in the microwave. Look! Water to clean up my birthday cake dish. I hope that was as exciting for you as it is for me. Happy birthday to me. My mother still sends me a card, even though I told her I don't like her. So she sent me a couple $100 this year. She skipped last year because I guess I was too rude on her birthday. I knew what the consequences might be, and I did it anyway. You'd think that would drive it home. I figured she wouldn't send me any money. I wasn't sure, but I risked it, and when I talked to her, I've been trying to get her to read my blog on saving the world, and she won't. Somebody has to copy it for her. I don't have the money to be making copies. But her children are millionaires, and they're all conservatives. They're all conservatives, so I don't even know if she even bothered asking them if they'll make a copy of it and send it to her. And they're conservatives, but they make millions from affirmative action plans. So why do they think widening affirmative action is going to hurt them? Why do they think that? What is wrong with people? It's the only reason why we had this bubble. It bled. All this affirmative action stuff bled into every business in this country, in the world. Actually, in the world. So what is the big resistance? It helped to create these bubbles. Because now black people are buying, not just white people. Black people, Hispanics, have the power of the purse. So how is that hurting? The only thing it's hurting is the environment, because people are still having too many children. So, but why should you be able to have children but not other people? No, they need to. Only about 1 out of 10 people are actually capable of raising a happy, healthy child. That can thrive. So if you're having children and you have a disability, then you don't like children. And I think it's child abuse. If you have a disability, mental or physical, you should not have children. I didn't have children for that reason. I knew I couldn't raise a child. I was willing to adopt a child. When I worked for SmithKline Beecham, a woman by the name of Nancy Mendola told me about Jeff Bezos' little bookstore. And people were already talking about it back then. This is like 1987. Between 1987 and 1989. And she told me about that. And I tried to get my husband to go out there. That was the only chance we were ever going to have. I needed the clean air. I knew I needed clean air back then, but I lost track of it along the line. But I didn't know it was going to kill me. I didn't know the pollution was that bad. That it was that it was the soul. It was one of the main obstacles to me eating protein. I didn't know that. I kind of thought it. Maybe I can't remember thinking anything past that. I knew it wasn't good for me, and I felt that. At that point, when I realized where I was getting the opportunity, that it was coming from Washington, and how clean it was up there, because I looked into that, I figured that this probably does have something to do with, my general health. And he was a musician, so he had already moved out of Pennsylvania and tried being a musician and being on the road, and he couldn't make it. I guess he didn't get a big break into Hollywood. He played for people like Charo and some of his bigger ones. And what's the name of the guy, Singing in the Rain guy? He did his big anniversary 50 or something, or a tribute to that guy. And that's the kind of jobs he was up to when I met him. And he had a valley guy voice when I met him, because I guess he had spent some time I don't know if he was in California at all. He was in Trinidad and Ohio. I think he lived in Ohio. He worked for Cedar Point. Maybe he got it from working at Cedar Point. At the Hoop-de-Doo, he was in the Hoop-de-Doo Review. What a cornball. He even looks like a cornball, and that doesn't bother. That didn't bother me. He's not the most attractive guy in the world, but that didn't bother me. I just wanted somebody that he presented as a family man, and that he could. And our contract was that I would not have to work if we had children. I would quit work and raise children only. Have a child. I planned on having a child because I didn't think I was going to stay sick. I thought I was going to get a miracle because he made me feel better. He was the only person that treated me consistently like a human being, besides maybe Lori Wozniacek, that I was around with any considerable amount of time. So I believed him, and I thought we could do it together, and I thought I would come out of my horrible physical and anxiety and depression situation with him. But it just got worse when I started working for Beecham. I felt like I was having a heart attack at the interview alone. But I had to do something to get away from my mother. And I needed more money. In my first job, I was working at Penn Stand. When he and I bought our first house together, only he's on the title because I can't remember why I couldn't be on the title. Because we weren't married. I don't know why. It doesn't matter. He didn't fight me over it in the settlement. But and I didn't think it was. I did make him write something for a will, like, but later. But so I'm telling you what my only opportunity. So we did have an opportunity to have a family when I heard about Amazon, and I wanted to write a book. So it just like clicked in me. Oh my God, it's a bookstore, and he's going big, and it's going to be big. And eventually I realized it was going to be like the next Walmart within a couple years, or actually sometime in the 90s I realized that, in the early 90s, when he became after he became public, he was still a private company at that point, when we had a chance to go out there and try to get in. And it wouldn't matter to me if he didn't get in right away, or neither one of us did, because it would have been a better place to live for me, out of the pollution. So I wasn't worried about that too much. He could have done anything he wanted to do. We needed to get out of this muck, this pollution. And he wouldn't go. And we could have been, they would have loved him. He's a good sales rep, and he probably would have been on the board, possibly, or we would have just had those shares. We probably would have been billionaires. But I told him, he kept trying to get me to have children, and I knew I was disabled. And before he left, I told him I'm willing to adopt, but I'll need a nanny, because I can't handle it on my own either, not working. And by the time he left, I had already been let go from the year after I was let go from SmithKline Beecham. He left. When the money ran out, he ran out. So I was too, I went back to school at that point, and I'm still hoping for that miracle. I'll go to school. If I'm doing something I like to do, maybe I'll get a miracle, right? So I still didn't get the miracle. Since I was in recovery already, because I started in adult children of alcoholics in 1991 or 1990, because I did an employee EAP, employee assistance program, because my brother Tom was suicidal, and I got him to go to Brighton Woods, and I went with me, my husband, and his wife Kelly, and him. I took him to Brighton Woods. We sat down with a psychiatrist. Then I and my husband left, and Kelly, I think, even left the room. The psychiatrist went in with Tommy. He got him installed in his first rehab, And that's how my brother Tom got started in recovery. He gives credit to his sponsor, Tom Cook, for saving his life, when it was me that saved his life. And it's him that gets my neighbors to vandalize my yard. So that's how somebody repays you for saving their life. So anyway, I was in recovery, so I was trying to so I changed my focus on possibly being a drug and alcohol counselor, because I always liked listening to people and trying to help people. And I did it with my family. I did it with anybody I could. And by the time I graduated from college, and I did go into a community MHMR, I found a job there, and they let me go too, because this is another story. Chartier's mental health, mental retardation program. So I was working with these chronically mentally ill that weren't hospitalized. We were in an apartment situation, and we had to dish their drugs out for them all day. So we had an office in the apartment building over in Crafton, and they would come to us for drugs, and they would pair up, and there would be two or three people in an apartment. And I got let go of that because, well, let's see, was there a beginning situation? Somebody complained about something I did. I forget what it was. I forget what it was, the first thing. It wasn't anything really big. But the next thing was, there's this woman, she's about 6'2", and I was doing an overnight, and you're by yourself overnight. And she called the office for something, and it was something I couldn't do for her, something I couldn't change, and it was something I couldn't do. And she just would not accept no for an answer. And she hung up the phone in a rage, and she starts barreling down the hall. The building's freaking shaking. She's barreling down the hall, so I locked the office door, and you're not allowed to do that. So she stormed out of the building, thank God, and so she got to go walk it off. So they fired me because of that. Because I wasn't willing to get the shit beat out of me by a 6'2" moron white woman. So I got canned because of that. And I was going downhill anyway. My health was getting worse. That was 96. That was just before I could have collected unemployment too. They let me go. So I missed the unemployment thing on that one. But that was just before the end of 1996. And then I started doing massage. There was nothing else I could do. I did put applications in, and I started doing massage after that in 97. I did that for 2 years, but I was going downhill the whole time. I had to keep eating less and less. I just couldn't eat. Everything was upsetting my stomach. So we had that chance to go to Amazon, and my husband just totally rejected it. I couldn't go out myself. I tried to get my family support. I asked my dad and my grandmother and my mother and my two older sisters, anybody else I thought had more money, to get me into an apartment out there. My mother at the time said, "You should go to New England." I said, "Well, okay. Who will help me get to set up an apartment in England?" Because I didn't even have that much money saved yet. Even by the time I left the beach, Smith Pine Beach, and by the time I was let go from there, I didn't have that much. So nobody would help me. And I told them about the pollution element, and that I was getting weaker and sicker. I had to stop running when I moved into this house, I think because the pollution's worse up here than it was down in my little dollhouse. So I was willing to adopt a child. think about that all the time. I could have had a life. I would have probably recovered. I might have even been able to start growing muscle up there if we had an income that. I mean, stuff was so expensive. It was hard just to cook your kitchen back then, with how expensive kitchen stuff was compared to what we were making. It took me forever to get my kitchen equipped. I got up to this house and I still didn't have everything I needed. I just kept getting harder and harder, so I needed Cuisinarts and stuff. You know, nothing got easier. My health, I kept getting weaker. And it's like nobody believed me. I just wanted to get out and go into work. Like that's all it was. I couldn't get support to move. I couldn't get the support I needed to move. So I would have left my husband if I could have went out there myself at that point. But by the time I got let go from Beecham, I was too weak. I was too weak to try it by myself. There was just no way. It's already lunchtime. It's past lunchtime already, and I'm just getting done washing breakfast dishes. I cannot get on a regular schedule. No matter what I do, I'm up till 4 o'clock in the morning getting my carbohydrates in. 4, 5, 6 or 6:30 this past week was my latest. With all the watering I still have to do. Oh, the water. Like I did for changing the irrigation. Even with irrigation, I still have to water the area. Milk dud. Milk dud. Milk dud to whoever said that's right, Linda. That's a cyanide. That's a cyanide pill coated with my crap. They push pollution into my house. So somebody once said, some philosopher or religious leader said that if you hurt a disabled person, you'll get 200 times back what you did to them. So with the way they push pollution into my house, it has to be cyanide pill that would be what they would get. So I'm calling it a milk dud. And this is a virtual death camp. And it was good enough for Hitler. Cyanide was good enough for Hitler. And I add one layer of shit. So this generation gets an improvement in the cyanide. It's a cyanide. It's a shit-coated cyanide pill. But it's the shit of an angel. And it's the shit of an angel. So maybe that'll expedite your death. Enjoy your cyanide. She's right, Linda. Kathy and Linda are my two older sisters' names. And once in a while, or actually every day, at least once, twice, 3 times a day, one of my death camp spectators says, "She's right, Linda," or something like that. Spectators, speculators, subjugators, and would-be adjudicators, you all get milk duds. Do you think the spectators in the Roman Colosseums weren't just as guilty as the gladiators? Think again. Think again. I don't care if they destroy the entire country, if that's what it takes to end my virtual death camp. If they have to destroy this entire country, so be it. Okay, next step is stretches. That's just breakfast, and it's 1:52. I'm doing fruits list. We got some rain, but around the big tree, the tree that my husband and I planted when we first moved in here, that tree sucks up so much water. I know it's not enough because we haven't been getting any rain. 46, I'm giving. So the tree's getting the tree area, which is almost the whole 2/3. It sucks up it, the roots, the heavy roots go at least 2/3 of the backyard. Maybe not so much in that back corner, but it's on this side here, on the southwest side, in the back of the house. And it's just insatiably thirsty. For stretching. Who knows what we're going to think of while we're stretching. I use my clock timer for this. don't like counting. It's too boring. My bone joints are falling down because they need tightened. Got all this extra space. I don't have a minute to get the sewing machine now, and I gotta do that. They punished me the last time I sewed. I made some rags and they stole half of them. Made some little wash rags, some little squares out of big wash rags. So, like to do a pre-wash on things and to do small cleanup jobs. And they punished me by stealing half the rags I made on the sewing machine. That's a lot of work, too. I mean, it's a lot of work for me, just making one of them little squares. It saves a lot of soap and water, and time, and stress on your wrists bringing things out. I guess we can show you how we're stretching. I can show myself how I'm stretching here. I try to get more than one stretch in. See it. I won't be able to see my clock. What a horrible thing the brunettes do, huh? We're so evil. Look how evil we are. How we prepare for the day so we don't flip out at people and use them like pieces of crap to wipe our butts. Like a piece of toilet paper to wipe our butts with. Oh, we could use more light in here. Because it's cloudy. I never keep it that dark. I just forgot because I'm recording. This. I can't stand do these stretches without having something to lean on anymore. Too much psychorazzi rolling around, trying to make me kill myself. There's Booger Valerie. You can slightly hear her in the background. Just a little bit. Makes you wonder if they're trying. Are they trying? Like, what stops them? What stops me from hearing them better than I do? Sometimes. Why does it vary? Is it because her blood sugar's low that I can't, and that's why they can't get through? Or they actually mind their own business sometimes? See, I don't try to hear them, and I don't want to. I find that only evil people do use that method of communication. It's always just a murder by suicide situation for lying and dissing you. Nobody ever uses it for anything good. I don't want to hear what they're saying. I know the world is full of a-holes, and I know there's nobody I can trust. I don't need to hear them anymore to know that. Some of these require it. This is Benedictines and Mary, Queen of Apostles. They're in, I think it's Texas or Arizona. I forget which one it is. They used to be in Scranton, Pennsylvania. They skied out. I guess they could. Pennsylvanians can't take God. Not really. It's all, I think most people are just putting on an act. They don't really want God in their life. They just say they do. For public relations. Christianity is like 99.9% PR for most people. That's why it never switched from male centrism to a balance of male centrism and female centrism. That's what Jesus was about, female centrism. It wasn't about war, libido, and territorialism. Nothing can be further from the truth. Sorry, Suzanne. There's another slithering, slobbering booger chigger. I can't even turn comments on YouTube because one video said to press made for kids so your comments will turn back on. Now they're telling me a couple months later to press not made for kids. So they keep going back and forth. I guess right when I switch it, they switch it back to the other way. I'm the Q because I'm Susie Q. That's how Google's using Susie Q. They're monsters. There's so many trolls on YouTube, and that Google and YouTube staff, it's unbelievable. And with that, I think we'll end it. Boy, what timing those nuns have. They are good. This is the best. This is one of the few. See, I hate to say this because I'm afraid it will end when I say it. But these are one of the few artists that you can listen to their CD over and over again. And I listen to this every day, all day now, because there's nothing else that will. I can escape the devil god, the dog god that everybody worships, because most artists will start bad mouthing you when you're listening to their CD or album or video or whatever. Well, maybe not so much on YouTube. I don't get it. But when I'm listening at home on a CD that I purchased, or that I have an MP3 of on my computer, they say crap. They join the psychorazzi and they mind F me. So this is what I'm listening to now all day, every day, so I can stay away from the devil, the god, the dog worshippers. So with that, I'm going to end it for today. And thank me for watching. Thank me for filming, and toodaloo.